This is a weed whacker, or weed eater, depending on where you are in the country. And notice, it doesn't have any string. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to change the string on a weed whacker. First thing you're going to want to do is flip it over. That way you can get to the little rotor that goes along in here. And you got to take this cap off. This is what holds the string inside and what coils it up inside. And this is a little bit interesting. This is not righty-tighty, it's lefty-tighty and righty-loosey. So you got to turn this little knob to the right for it to come off. Now it does it like that because this spins like this, and that would make this cap get loose if you would happen to touch this on the ground. So when you touch it on if this happens to touch the ground, it would instead loosen, it would tighten it. So that's the nifty little trick. So we'll go ahead and take this off. Okay, now that we have it off, you can kind of see what goes on here. This little spindle, the spring fits over that bolt, goes down in there, and the threads of this little knob go right down in there. So we have two little tracks for the string to go, and one string will pop out, well, it'll pop out this hole here, and the other one will pop out that hole there. So the first thing you're going to want to do, see these little holes? You probably can't even see it. Little hole right there on the bottom one. That's where we got to stick the string first. So I already have the string cut, and we're going to use 6 foot lengths of string. It doesn't look like 6 feet, but it is, I promise. And we're going to want to stick one end into the little spindle here. So I can't really do that with one hand, so you can kind of get the idea. Okay, here's one string in the hole. Now we're going to wrap it counterclockwise. So we're going to go this way. Now that the string is all wrapped around there, you just kind of keep going until you have about that much. It's about 8 inches. And then you just put the string in one of these little, I don't know what to call that little device that kind of holds the string in place. And that way you can put it through the holes on the spindle a little bit easier. So we're going to go ahead and do the top one then we'll be ready to put it all back together. Put the string in the top hole, and this time we're going to go clockwise. Okay, both strings are wrapped around, coiled up, and into the little into those little plastic pieces now. Notice how each string is directly adjacent from the other. That's how you want it to be, because when you put it back in the spindle, the little holes are directly apart. So now we're going to put this little blast. Now we're going to put this little instrument back inside the spindle here, and then we'll be ready to roll. Okay, strings are in the holes. Let's kind of see what's going on there. Spring is over the bolt. See how that one's the same? Now when you push it down in, this might come unsnapped from that little plastic piece. That's okay, because it's already in the hole. So go ahead and just, I usually push it down, and then it'll eventually come out by itself anyway. So I just do that, and then we're ready to put the cap back on. Don't forget that the cap is lefty-tighty. Okay, and you're gonna have a little bit of play in this, like that. That's okay. That makes it so when you when the machine is running, you can tap this on the ground, and it'll make the string spool out a little bit more. That way you don't have to take it off every time you need more string. So that's it. Just make sure this is tight, and there's really nothing to it. It's a little bit more complicated than people make it out to be. So that is that. Thanks for watching.